One number. That's where the universe begins. In the real world, we often describe the Big Bang as the beginning of everything we know, an initial state from which stars, planets, and eventually life emerged as the laws of physics played out. No Man's Sky has its own, much simpler, digital version of that idea. Start with a number, a seed, apply a set of mathematical rules, and from that simple starting point, an entire virtual universe can unfold. Solar systems, planets, mountains and oceans, weather, plants, alien creatures, more than 18 quintillion possible worlds. Not because someone designed every one of them, and not because the game stores 18 quintillion planets somewhere on the server. Instead, much of that universe can be reconstructed from numbers and rules. So how can one number turn into all of this? The key is something called deterministic procedural generation. You can imagine it as numbers generator. Give it a seed, an initial input, let's say 147, and it produces a sequence. Those numbers look random, but run the generator again with the same seed, and you get exactly the same sequence. So the seed isn't a tiny file containing a planet, it's more like a starting condition. No Man's Sky takes this idea and builds layers on top of it. Starting seed helps define the galaxy. That produces numbers associated with stars. A star's number can then act as another seed, helping define its planetary system. And the planets get their own numbers, which help determine things like terrain, atmosphere and ecology. So one starting point branches into more and more information. Seed, stars, systems, planets, terrain, weather, life. The initial state doesn't need to explicitly describe everything that will ever exist. Complexity can emerge as the same underlying rules are applied again and again. And this leads to one of the strangest parts of the procedural generation. Imagine standing on a mountain in No Man's Sky. You leave the planet, the game doesn't necessarily need to keep the entire mountain sitting in memory waiting for you. It knows the planet, it knows the location, and it knows the rules. So when you come back, as long as it hasn't been modified, it can calculate the terrain again. Because the inputs are the same, the exactly same mountain comes back too. That means enormous parts of the universe don't have to exist as gigantic pre-built maps. They can exist as something closer to a mathematical formula, waiting to be calculated when you arrive. But there is one important catch. No Man's Sky isn't literally creating everything from nothing. Its artists and developers still created the ingredients. Creature parts, models, textures, animations, plants, spaceship components. The procedural system then selects, combines and modifies those ingredients according to the rules. A single base body mesh can also be stretched, scaled and colored algorithmically to look vastly different. The artists create the building blocks. The generator decides how they come together. And this brings us back to where we started. One number. On its own, it means almost nothing. But pass it through the right mathematical rules and it becomes a star, star becomes a system, system becomes planets, and those planets become mountains, oceans, storms, forests, and strange alien life. It's not so different from the idea behind our digital Big Bang. Maybe our universe started like that as well?